30 years ago, video game graphics were simple, blocky characters, flat environments, and limited colors. In the mid-90s, 3D gaming began to take shape, but worlds still felt rigid and artificial. As technology advanced into the early 2000s, we saw smoother models, better lighting, and more immersive environments, bringing games closer to reality. By the 2010s, graphics took a massive leap. High-definition textures, realistic physics, and detailed character animations made games feel cinematic. Developers began using motion capture and advanced rendering techniques to blur the line between games and real life. Today, graphics are nearly photorealistic. With ray tracing, 4K resolution, and powerful hardware, lighting behaves like it does in the real world, reflections are accurate, and environments feel alive. What once looked like pixels on a screen now feels like stepping into another reality. And this evolution isn't slowing down because the future of graphics isn't just about looking real, it's about feeling real. You're looking at the future of gaming. Graphics so lifelike, you can't tell the difference from reality. Perfectly smooth, running at frame rates we used to only dream of. It looks like we finally made it. The moment the digital world becomes as real as the physical one. This is the promise of 2026, but this is the incredible lie they're selling you. And I'm going to show you how they're pulling it off. The biggest secret behind the stunning visuals of 2026 isn't just raw horsepower, it's a controversial, almost magical shortcut, AI. Specifically technologies like NVIDIA's DLSS 4.5. At CES 2026, the company showcased what it calls 6x AI frame generation. The concept is both brilliant and deeply deceptive. For every single frame your powerful new graphics card renders, the AI generates up to 5 more frames all on its own. So, in a game that feels like it's running at a buttery smooth 240 frames per second, your GPU might only be doing the real work for 40 of them. The other 200? They're ghosts. Phantoms created by an algorithm predicting what the next moment look like. This is how we're seeing fully path-traced, photorealistic games hitting absurdly high frame rates, even on the latest hardware. The machine is filling in the blanks at a speed the human eye can't detect, creating an illusion of unparalleled smoothness. And mostly, it works. It makes games feel incredibly responsive, but it's a sleight of hand. You're not seeing the game world as it's rendered, you're seeing a version of it and AI has hallucinated into existence. The problem, the core of the lie, is that we're celebrating a milestone in machine learning, not purely in graphical rendering. We're outsourcing our visual reality to a black box. As this tech becomes the standard, the line between what is real and what is fabricated gets blurrier. We're trading authenticity for fluidity. The incredible graphics of 2026 are not always what they seem. They are, in many cases, a beautiful computer-generated prediction. So, why are we so reliant on these AI tricks? Why not just build more powerful hardware? This brings us to the second part of the lie. While the hardware more powerful, it's caught in a vice. The irony of 2026 is that we have a new generation of GPUs like NVIDIA's RTX 50 series. But their availability and pricing are being warped by a different kind of crisis. This isn't the crypto mining craze all over again. It's a structural shift. The insatiable demand for chips from enterprise AI data centers is pushing consumer gaming to the back of the line. The simple economic reality is that the same silicon in a high-end gaming card is far more profitable when sold as a $10,000 AI accelerator. Analysts describe the situation as a compute crunch, warning that gamers are now competing directly with a multi-trillion-dollar industry for the same hardware. This means that even with new architectures like Blackwell, the graphical arms race feels stalled for many. The raw horsepower of the RTX 50 series is impressive, but it's expensive and often in short supply. So, developers and hardware makers are forced to lean heavily on AI upscaling and frame generation to deliver next-gen performance. The graphics you see are a testament to software ingenuity, but they also mask a new reality of scarcity and compromise. The beautiful lie is that we've unlocked a new era of unlimited power, when in truth, we've just found a clever way to cope with a hardware bottleneck that's economic, not technological. This relentless pursuit of realism, propped up by AI shortcuts and hardware pressures, has created a storm in the heart of the industry. This leads to the third and most tragic lie, that these beautiful graphics are housed in worlds worth exploring. The reality, the industry is in turmoil. The 2026 Game Developers Conference report painted a grim picture, noting that over a quarter of developers, 28%, were laid off in the last 2 years alone. Faced with immense pressure to cut costs, major publishers are turning to the very same AI that generates our frames to generate our game worlds. We are entering the age of AI slop. Generative AI is now being used to create 3D models, textures, and even dialogue. Over half of the gaming companies are using it in their workflows. On paper, this sounds efficient. In practice, it risks flooding games with soulless assets that lack the touch of a human artist. There's a growing fear that this is a race to the bottom, where quantity replaces quality and vision. The 2026 release calendar already feels thin, propped up by remakes and cynical gap fillers. While we wait for long-delayed titles, the industry seems to be using AI to tread water, padding out massive open worlds with algorithmically placed trees and procedurally generated fetch quests. The incredible lie is that these graphically stunning games represent a creative peak. More often, they are a beautiful facade, hiding an industry struggling with burnout, layoffs, and a desperate search for a sustainable way to create the massive worlds that these graphics demand. But if the mainstream is a lie, where do we find the truth? Often, it's in the places that value artistry over algorithms. If you're interested in worlds crafted with a unique vision, check out our video on how indie developers are creating breathtaking art styles with a fraction of the budget. That's next. And if you're tired of the hype and want to know what's really going on in gaming tech, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. We pull back the curtain on this industry every week. Conclusion: the real future. It's easy to look at all of this, the fake frames, the hardware squeeze, the AI-generated content, and feel pessimistic, but that's not the whole story. While the 8AA pursuit of photorealism may be a beautiful lie, the true future of graphics is quietly unfolding somewhere else. It's a future that isn't about raw power, but about accessibility and artistry. This year, we saw a massive leap in a different kind of hardware: integrated graphics. Intel's latest CPUs are now capable of running demanding games at 1080p with high settings, no dedicated graphics card needed. Suddenly, high-fidelity gaming is no longer the exclusive domain of those who can afford a top-tier GPU. It's becoming accessible on thin laptops, democratizing the experience for millions. More importantly, there is a powerful counter-movement happening. For every studio chasing photorealism, another is championing art style. A game like Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, which launched in 2025 to huge acclaim, proved that a unique, handcrafted aesthetic can be more memorable than any ray-traced reflection. Using the same powerful engines like Unreal Engine 5, these developers are choosing not to replicate reality, but to create their own. They remind us that the goal of graphics was never just to fool the eye, but to stir the soul. And maybe that's the ultimate truth. The pinnacle of graphics isn't a perfect simulation of our world. It's the creation of new ones we've never imagined. The incredible lie of 2026 is the idea that realism is the only destination. It's not. It's just one path. And the most exciting journeys are still ahead, found not in counting pixels, but in celebrating creativity.